Hey there, it's February, the so-called month of love. And while everyone's talking about romantic dinners and candles and I don't know what, chocolates, roses, for sure roses, I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about self-love. Self-love will stick around long after Valentine's Day is over. So today I want to talk to you about my journey with self-acceptance, self-care, and the radical decision to love myself each step of the way. Because self-love, let's face it, that's the real deal. This relationship, the one with yourself, is the most important relationship you'll ever have. When I was a baby 20-something-year-old feminist, I made a promise to myself. I made a promise to love my life every year that I'm here. I knew that I wouldn't be young forever, but I knew that loving myself, all of myself, everything, self-acceptance, was really important. And also a bit of a justice kind of thing. Like, women deserve to have full and wonderful lives every step of the way. And age should never be something that limits us. So I made that decision as a young 20-something-year-old feminist. And I'm glad I did. Without realizing it, I was committing to self-acceptance, which was great. But the self-care piece, that would come later. In my 20s, I ended up gaining weight. And I noticed a big difference in how, say, people interacted with me in shops or in social situations. And I kind of questioned why. I didn't really get it. And sometimes I would even feel invisible. And it was not a good feeling. And I've heard other women describe this as well, that they've felt invisible at certain times in their life. Well, anyone can feel like that, honestly, but yeah, so it's not very fun. Part of it is that we have all of these pressures put on us by, what do you want to call it? Marketing, advertising, things that basically make us feel insecure so that we buy more. What is that called again? At the time, I knew that the size that I required was not necessarily within the norm, but I still wanted to practice radical self-acceptance, and I did. And I'm happy I did. Strangers would ask me if I had kids because basically my body looked, like maybe I had kids, but I hadn't had kids. Wow, that's a lot of hads in one sentence. Yeah, so it was painful on many different levels. Shopping was so discouraging. I remember thinking like, oh my God, it's not fair, and it wasn't. Social situations felt really awkward because I felt awkward. And if you've never struggled with your weight, you might assume that this has something to do with laziness. But in fact, I was anything but lazy. I was committed to working at all the important things. My career, showing up with my family, my responsibilities. I was there. I was on. The only thing that I wasn't really paying attention to was myself. The radical self-acceptor still needed to learn self-care. Eventually, in my 20s, I was able to make small but significant shifts in my lifestyle. So I stopped eating a lot of processed foods. I mean, it was like intermittently. And I cut down on sugar, a lot of sugar. And so that made a major shift in my body. But my journey wasn't linear. So I yo-yoed for years. Through the whole practice of starting to take care of myself in a way that made sense, gave me a lot of knowledge on what really works. And what really works are small, consistent shifts that feel good, where I'm listening to my body. They're not based on trends. They're really based on what works best for you. So for me, it was cutting down on sugar, eating more whole foods, and eventually in my 30s, I started exercising a lot more, and that made a big, big difference. Fast forward to today, I'm in my 50s. Yay! I'm still committed to radical self-acceptance, but now I pair this with intentional self-care. And let me tell you, I feel a lot better. I move my body every day. That's key for both my mental health and everything. I move my body daily. Not to chase a number on a scale, but because it makes me feel good. I feel more confident in my body no matter what, which is awesome. I have little to no pain, which is a huge victory in your 50s. Does my body look better? Heck yes, of course it does. But here's the thing. Achieving your goal weight isn't everything that you think it might be. Bodies always change. The difference now is that I trust myself. Honestly, I'm super proud of the consistency that I've built up well over a year. It's something I never thought I would sustain, but here I am. Beyond movement, I nourish my spirit with daily affirmations so that I affirm the best in me every day. And I make sure to get outside every single day. This is one of the things that I've found is magic in my life. And I practice this thing called nature connection, which is also a kind of magic, and in realigning me with my best self. Nature reminds me to slow down, to breathe, and to feel my emotions without judgment. It sparks awe, creativity, and perspective. It reminds me that my problems, no matter how big they are, exist within a beautiful and complex world. This realization alone helps me to calm down and find perspective, and actually to continue on with my best energy. So this Valentine's Day, I encourage you to go inward. I encourage you to love yourself radically and unapologetically, to commit to self-acceptance no matter what, to care for yourself every single day, regardless of what anyone thinks, because that is self-love, and you're worth it. I love saying that. I want to say it again, and you're worth it. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a chance to take it outside.